Hello, welcome. I am Aries and we're reading the Disabled Tyrant's Beloved Pet Fish. That is a mouthful every single time I say it. It's so many words. But I guess that's what we're here for, isn't it? I have tea. Hope you have tea. My tea is still cooling. I will give it a second to cool before I take a sip and start reading because I've already been talking for a bit today, so my throat is a little dry. I wasn't talking, I was singing because my dog was being cute. as you do, like what else are you gonna do when your dog's cute? So, yeah. That's what happened. But hi, welcome. Hope you have a good time. Last we left off, where the fuck did we leave off? Oh boy. Oh my god, last we left off he kissed him in his sleep. Prince Jing kissed Liu while he was sleeping, because of course he did, because they're hopeless. They are so fucking hopeless. I can't stand them, but I love them. They're so gay. But the next chapter is called A Fish Follows His Master. And if you notice, I titled this stream what I titled it? Fishy Smashed Cucumber. That is because chapter 50 in 2 chapters is called Fishy Smashed Cucumber. And I know it's a clickbaity title. I know it. I know it's all clickbait. But it's still a good title, you know? Like that's a pretty good title. Okay, my tea is drinkable. But yeah, I hope you're having good morning, good day, good afternoon, good night, I suppose. And we're ready to read. So let's just do that. I am going to be without headphones for the start. Bro, stop making so much noise. Yeah. Sorry, my PC is making noise and I don't know if that's good or not. Anyway, book. Let's get started. Chapter 48. A Fish Follows His Master. Oh boy. Oh boy. When Liu heard that the emperor had summoned Zen Master Liao Kong to the palace, he was perched on the edge of the porcelain fish tank, staring angrily at Prince Jing. What? As soon as Prince Jing's injury approved, he started reading an old book on cultivation again, right in front of his fish. Liu didn't know what was wrong with him. How could the dignified male protagonist of a palace novel be interested in cultivation? And he was so focused when reading. Liu felt waves of danger crashing in his heart, afraid that Prince Jing would try to cultivate immortality when he wasn't watching. Snuffy Snooze, Ape Salad, Crunch Wrap. Hello. What the hell? There's so many people today. Welcome. We are just starting. I literally just started the first paragraph. You know, y'all have shit on your faces. You probably can't see it, but I have my stream avatars up. So I can see them clearly, but y'all have like, I guess hats? I think they're supposed to be hats, but they're just not in the right place, so they're just like on your faces. And I think that's really cute. Anyway, Liu is angry. Nose hat, exactly. It serves a purpose. It's functional. Come what may, he'd deal with it. It wasn't the first time he'd interfered with Prince Jing's interest in cultivation. At first, he wanted to get Prince Jing's book wet as usual. He'd gotten many of them wet before, and Prince Jing had never blamed him, so he'd become fearless. But now, looking at the gauze on Prince Jing's hand, he hesitated. What if he got water on Prince Jing's wound when he jumped onto it? The imperial physician had reminded them countless times that the injury couldn't touch water. Liu didn't want his tyrant master to get worse and come down with another fever. That would make him exhausted all over again. Oh no. Maybe he could turn into a human and hide the book instead. Or tattle to Wang Ji. Wang Ji wouldn't want his master to cultivate, right? Liu was just thinking of how to ruin Prince Jing's grand plan for cultivation. When head eunuch Luo came to Jingtai Hall to convey a message from the emperor, Zen Master Liao Kong was here, and the emperor hoped Prince Jing would meet with him. Head eunuch Luo whispered something to Prince Jing's ear, and Prince Jing glanced at Xiao Yu calmly before agreeing. Meanwhile, Li Yu was a little panicked at the mention of Lao Kong's name. If his memory served him well, Zen Master Lao Kong was the head monk of Hu Guo Temple. Okay, yeah, okay. We're just gonna go with that. In the novel, he was a monk with a transcendent status. When Prince Jing became a tyrant, Lao Kong had tried to persuade him to show more leniency. I cannot read today. Oh boy. Oh boy, this is gonna be so fun. Though Prince Jing had already become quite the despot. What is a despot? Despot? What is that? What does that mean? He wasn't able to kill Lao Kong, which showed how powerful he really was. I don't even know what that means. Oh, it's like a tyrant? I've never heard that word before. That's crazy. I probably read it in this book before and was like, what does that mean? Thank you. But in the original novel, Lao Kong had only appeared to persuade Prince Jing. Why did he want to meet with Prince Jing now, when Prince Jing was fine? Liu never considered his own role in all of this. Since Prince Jing had been reading a lot of books on cultivation, had he changed his mind about cultivation? Had he seen through the mortal world and decided to follow in Lao Kong's footsteps to become a monk? For a male protagonist of a palace novel who never played by the rules and wanted to cultivate all the time, it was totally possible. Noticing that Prince Jing was about to go to Changqing Palace, Liu jumped out of the fish tank and into the crystal bottle. He wanted to go too. Liu secretly decided that if Prince Jing mentioned becoming a monk to Lao Kong, then he would cause trouble in Changqing Palace and ruin those plans. Of course he would. Of course he would. He's used to it by now. Prince Jing wasn't planning on leaving him behind. As he put Xiao Yu in the crystal bottle, though, he felt that his fish somehow seemed to have a murderous aura today. When Prince Jing arrived at Changqing Palace, the Emperor and Lao Kong had just finished with some small talk. Prince Jing greeted the Emperor, and Lao Kong stepped forward and nodded slightly to him. The crystal bottle was in Prince Jing's sleeve, so Liu peeked out. Lao Kong was at least 70, his beard and hair completely white, but he was still energetic and healthy, very different from the Six Princes' fake monks. It was immediately clear that this was an advanced and eminent monk. Liu only looked for a moment, but somehow Lao Kong's fiery gaze turned towards him. Damn, this was a truly powerful monk. Would he be able to tell that he was a transmigrated fish? Liu was shocked and didn't dare peek out again. Prince Jing covered his sleeves instinctively, blocking Lao Kong's line of sight. Your Highness Prince Jing, Lao Kong said, smiling. Long time no see. Prince Jing frowned and nodded. The Emperor was quite excited. Lao Kong's arrival brought back memories for him. The Emperor rubbed his hands together and said, Jianqi, do you remember Lao Kong? You fell into the water when you were a child and you were in danger, as your fever wouldn't go down. The imperial physicians were helpless, and Lao Kong just so happened to be in the palace at that time. I didn't know what to do, so I asked Lao Kong to come see you. Thankfully, he knew an old method that could reduce fever. He also told me that you would be lacking water in your life, so I changed your name and prayed. Man just dropped all the lore that we were wondering in the previous chapters. Amazing. After that, your condition took a turn for the better, and you made a full recovery. Okay. He just... Yeah. Clearly emotional, the Emperor added, "They say that those who survive a disaster will be met with good fortune in the future. I still remember the pond you fell into. At that time, it was glimmering with a dazzling golden light. Because of what Liao Kong said, I chose the name Qi for you." Footnote: the Qi in Mu Tianqi is meaning a pool or pond. That's so cute. Average parrot lore drop. Yeah. It was the first time Prince Jing had heard the Emperor talk of such things. My bad. As he knew... Why? I can't. I've been skimming over words so much today. All he knew was that before he turned 3, his name was Tianjing, and afterward it was Tianqi. When he was given a title as an adult, the Emperor gave him the word Jing, returning his name to him. But he barely remembered his fever that year, much less the reason behind it. Since he couldn't sneak any more peeks, Liu had opted to listen instead. He was stunned. Could it be that the illusion wasn't just an illusion, but something that had happened to Prince Jing in the past? From what the Emperor was saying, it seemed the plump little prince really did fall into the water, and came out of it with a persistent high fever. But in the illusion, Liu was there. In reality, Prince Jing had not been as lucky and probably had to drift to shore himself. Picturing the boy's round body floating alone, Liu found it quite tragic. At the time, it must have been very dangerous. If even the imperial physicians were helpless against such a high fever, it had to have been a life-threatening situation for a toddler. The Emperor asked for a monk instead of a physician, and changed his name in the hopes of changing his fate. Desperate times called for desperate measures. Liu hadn't yet realized what the golden light and the Emperor... What the hell? Liu hadn't yet realized what the golden light the Emperor mentioned was. How could there be a light in the pond? It was probably reflected from something else. I wonder... Man, this guy... You're a You transmigrated into a fish, my guy. Anything is fucking possible. I don't know how best to explain it to you. Like, what? So... Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Just be like that. Just be like that, Liu. We love you as you are. Anyway, he had guessed right. Prince Jing's name used to be Tianjing. It was fortunate that Liao Kong had been around to prompt the Emperor. Liu suddenly thought... Oh, no, that was the same sentence. It was fortunate that Liao Kong had been around to prompt the Emperor, Liu suddenly thought. If the Emperor had gotten too creative, Prince Jing might have been called Tianguang or Tianjin, neither of which sounded as nice as Tianqi. Footnote: the Guang in Tianguang means light and the Jin means gold. The positive connotations of these potential names are very on the nose. Liu probably thinks they would be tacky. Though Prince Jing didn't remember what happened back then, he still bowed to Liao Kong in thanks at the Emperor's reminder. Liao Kong modestly said, "It was but a slight effort. The heavens help the worthy, Prince Jing." "Great master, please don't be humble." After a bout of pleasantries, the Emperor finally got to the main subject. "I must trouble you to take another look today. Prince Jing has been raising a fish recently, and I think it's quite good." Oh, Liu finally realized that Prince Jing didn't want to become a monk. The Emperor wanted Prince Jing to meet Liao Kong because of his fish. The little carp was a bit troubled. He wasn't afraid of most people, but would an eminent monk like Liao Kong be able to tell that he was a transmigrated fish? Liu decided to hide as much as he could. He would try to look like a normal carp for eating and not cause trouble in front of Liao Kong. Since the Emperor had commanded it, Liu calmly took the crystal bottle out of his sleeve and opened the lid in front of the Emperor and Liao Kong. As soon as Liao Kong saw the black and gold fish in the crystal bottle, He became contemplative. Contemplative? I've heard it contemplative. Okay. Under his gaze, the little carp was very obedient and barely swam. Prince Jing, afraid that the little carp was nervous in front of a stranger, lightly touched his fish's back with his uninjured left hand. That's all he knows how to do. Liu pretended he didn't feel it and wasn't cooperative at all. He coldly blew a bubble. Prince Jing really wasn't sure what to make of this. Lao Kong witnessed every interaction between Prince Jing and his fish. He was silent for a moment before saying to the Emperor, Prince Jing's fish doesn't seem quite extraordinary to me. There was a pause, and before he could continue speaking, Lao Kong suddenly felt two burning gazes. One from the cold-faced Prince Jing and another from the little carp in Prince Jing's hand that was trying to act dumb. Pets really did take after their owners. Lao Kong smiled privately and said, I've never encountered such a thing in my I can't read. It's fine, I'll get there. We'll get there. We're still warming up. I've never encountered such a thing in my life. This fish. He stopped purposefully to create suspense, and, as expected, Prince Jing's gaze nearly bore holes into him. Lao Kong was over 70, though. When he felt a chill on his neck, he chuckled and said, This fish is the descendant of a koi. He doesn't look like one now, but he will as time passes. That is so convenient for you, Liu. That is so convenient. Liu was dumbfounded. He didn't think a monk would have such good insight. He couldn't say that Lao Kong didn't see through him. How else could he know that he would look more like a koi in the future? But he couldn't say that Lao Kong had exposed him. Otherwise, why would he not lay the truth bare? Prince Jing gave Lao Kong a cold glare. As long as he didn't say Zhao Yu was a monster or would turn into a dragon, it was all the same to him. The Emperor hesitated before asking, The fish really is a koi? Lao Kong nodded. Yes, he said solemnly. This type of koi is very rare. His Highness was very lucky to chance upon it. The Emperor trusted Lao Kong, and his words were consistent with what the Imperial Astrological Bureau had said. The Emperor felt a burden lifted off his shoulders, and he smiled, saying, No wonder I thought it was auspicious. Turns out, it is at least part koi. The third prince had even tried to frame a koi. The Emperor was even more disdainful of him than he had been already. Liu still tried his hardest to look like an ordinary carp, silently observing the Emperor and Lao Kong's movements. Lao Kong had paused between his words, really given off the air of a great monk, and he'd scared Liu several times. But in the end, he announced to the Emperor that Liu was actually a koi. In the future, it shouldn't matter how long he changed, right? How much he changed, my bad. Lao Kong looked scary to the fish, but he'd helped him in the end. Luckily, somehow without even trying, Liu had managed to get the approval of both the Emperor and Prince Jing. Soon he could accept the reward from the koi mission. The Emperor chatted happily with Lao Kong, while Prince Jing listened quietly. When Lao Kong left, the Emperor ordered Prince Jing to see him off. Surprisingly, Prince Jing didn't take the little carp with him this time, and instead asked Wang Ji to take the crystal bottle back to his room first. He still had questions he needed to ask Lao Kong, and he didn't want the carp spirit to know. Once they were alone, Prince Jing bowed deeply. Oh shit, we're getting this part? Okay. Lao Kong chuckled. Thank you for trusting me, Your Highness. I hope I did not disappoint you. Prince Jing looked up at Lao Kong and smiled. He can't say anything. When Prince Jing had found out about Mu Tianzhao's plan to make up a rumor about turning into a dragon, he'd predicted that things might get out of hand. The longer such rumors went on, the worse it would be. The only solution was to stop the rumors quickly and thoroughly by finding someone who could convince the Emperor and completely overturn the rumor. Oh my god, they're in cahoots. But at first, Prince Jing wasn't sure who he should ask. The Emperor trusted Director Sun, son of the Imperial Astrological Bureau, but it was hard to guarantee that the Emperor wouldn't be confused and swayed by the rumors. He couldn't rely solely on Director Sun. Prince Jing then thought of Zen Master Lao Kong from Hu Go Temple. The imperial family had established the temple, and the Emperor trusted Lao Kong's character. If he had any more doubts, he would definitely ask Lao Kong, so the prince might as well directly ask Lao Kong to help. Everyone knew that Lao Kong was indifferent to worldly affairs and only took orders from the emperor, but they didn't know that Lao Kong had a deep secret friendship with the former Duke of Chang'an, Prince Jing's grandfather. Even though the emperor was the only one who could officially use him, Lao Kong would still run around for his best friend. That's cute. I am getting distracted. Sorry, I need to not see y'all walking around so much. I had to close the window. When Lao Kong responded to the emperor's request to help the fifth prince and his fever, it was partially for the Duke of Chang'an's sake too. Prince Jing had known about this early on, and, with the former Duke of Chang'an's assistance, he was able to ask Lao Kong for help this time. Prince Jing had made preparations with Lao Kong early on, and what had happened in front of the emperor just now was only a show to make the emperor's doubts dissipate. They just lied to him. Oh my god. There was no one else around, so Lao Kong kept praising him. With such a mind, Your Highness, you have a bright future. Prince Jing thought he was teasing, so he lowered his eyes and clasped his hands politely. The conversation that followed was more secretive. Prince Jing took out paper and a brush from his sleeve that he had prepared beforehand and handed it to Lao Kong. The monk picked up the brush and wrote, Your Highness, are you not afraid something will happen if you take him around with you? Lao Kong didn't say who him was, but they both knew. Prince Jing wrote without thinking. He wouldn't hurt me. Okay, it's fine, I'm so normal. Lao Kong nodded. He could tell that Prince Jing's carp wasn't an ordinary carp, but he sensed it was not evil or malicious. If he had, he wouldn't have agreed to do this for Prince Jing to cover up for the fish. Your Highness, your heart is as clear and bright as a mirror, he said. Is there anything else you need me to clarify? Prince Jing wrote, Great Master, do you know why he came? Lao Kong took a long, thoughtful look at Prince Jing. I may not be able to help with much, but I do know a little about this. The day you fell into the water many years ago, I happened to be in the palace and had seen a black and gold fish swimming by in the pond you fell into. What? Prince Jing's gaze swam with emotion, and his hands couldn't stop trembling. He wrote something in a hurry, then crossed it out. When he was finally able to calm down, he wrote, What did the fish look like? Lao Kong said, The same as your fish right now. It was completely black except for the golden scales on its belly and tail, only it was slightly bigger. Prince Jing was silent. The size of the fish wasn't an issue. He'd seen Xiao Yu grow larger not long ago. The fish Lao Kong saw must have been Xiao Yu. Had Xiao Yu come to see him when he was younger? Lao Kong went on. The pond you fell into was extremely deep. It would have been impossible for a toddler to swim out on his own. Do you understand what I mean, Your Highness? Let me put it this way. Lao Kong smiled. I don't know what he is, but he must have come for you. Come for me? I'm just gonna be saying that later. Okay. Prince Jing was deeply moved. He suddenly remembered the familiar scene of Xiao Yu laying on his chest when he turned back into a fish, as well as the first time they met, when he picked up the fish on the brink of death that the cat had thrown away. What was he thinking back then? Why did he stop for a fish? Because he had heard something hitting the floor. and it was the sound of a fish's tail slapping the ground. He didn't know how he knew, but it seemed to have been etched into his memory. The sound of the fish's tail meant the fish was still alive. When the sound stopped, it meant the fish was about to die. So without thinking, he went to save the fish. Prince Jing couldn't help but chuckle. He didn't remember the incident from the past, but the instinct left in him was probably a remnant of that time. Wow. Wow. It just all comes back to... Oh my god, that's the end of the chapter. End of that chapter. Next chapter is called Fish Turning into a Koi. He's finally gonna do it, folks. This is chapter 49 on page 125. Oh my god. Hang on, give me a second. I'm getting a little dizzy. I think I'm just like... I don't know. Something's going on. I forgot to take my meds like 2 days ago, and that fucked with me a lot. So... Whee! Okay, we're good. Ever since Liu was given the Koi stamp by Zen Master Lao Kong right in front of the Emperor, he was no longer an ordinary carp for eating. He'd completed the Koi mission and the reward was waving at him, but Liu still resisted the temptation. Though he was now part of the Koi family, he couldn't change so quickly in front of the Emperor and Lao Kong. It wasn't until a few days after he'd returned to the manor with Prince Jing, once Prince Jing recovered from his injury, that was a comma, that Liu figured that he wouldn't draw too much attention. He picked a sunny day and sneakily entered the system to accept the reward. He's going to do the fish. Yep. He'd asked the system before if the reward would change his appearance this time, too. Liu looked expectantly at the reward and found that it was mainly divided into 2 categories. One was the color of his scales. He could choose from gold, reds, green, silver, or purple. The other was the Koi's good luck. The system was stingy and wouldn't increase his good luck for every stat, but was willing to increase it for 3 random statistics. It was all right, Liu thought. He was skilled at comforting himself by now. Increased luck for 3 stats was better than nothing, right? Since the reward was random, he couldn't choose the stats. Since the reward was random and he couldn't choose the stats, he chose the color of his scales first. He'd chosen gold before, but the golden scales had just grown on top of his original inky black base. Liu assumed that it would be like that this time too, so he thought about what color to choose for a long time. In the end, he chose silver, wanting to look like a cool koi. God, it's insufferable. You know what? I'd be exactly the same, though. After he made his selection, his body didn't change while he was still in the system. Liu assumed that it would only take effect after he left the system, just like last time. He wasn't really in a hurry, so he went to check the increase in luck. So since he accepted the reward, the stats had gone up, and the fish scamming system had listed the stats that were chosen. Slapping villains in the face. Luck plus 10. Well-fed and well-clothed. Luck plus 10. One shot and done. Luck plus 20. What the fuck does that mean? What? Literally written in the book. That's the book, not me. It says, what? I am the same, though. Least insufferable isekai protagonist. That's true. That is true. You're still insufferable, though. Oh my god. He could understand the first 2 stats fine, but something weird seemed to have been mixed in, and it had been increased a lot for some reason. Excuse me, what does one shot and done mean? Indeed. It's a skill needed for special missions, said the system mysteriously. The higher the stat, the easier it is to complete the mission. Why does it sound a little off? I guess since it helps with finishing quests, I'll accept it. I'll find out what it is when I use it. Boy, you could just probe a little harder. Just ask more questions. Please ask more questions. I need to know. Leo accepted the reward and exited the system. He immediately looked at his tail in excitement, trying to see if he'd grown silver scales yet. With just one With just one glance, he was shocked. His fishtail, which used to be black with a streak of gold, had turned silver with a streak of gold. What had happened to the cool mix of colors he was expecting? Leo gulped. Was the color changing this time not to add scales to his already existing colors, but to completely change his main color? He immediately jumped out of the fish tank, using his tail as a skateboard. I hate this fucking... Oh my god. As a skateboard. Well, I got knocked out as a skateboard and rode it to the bronze mirror in Prince Jing's room. I can't stand this. A silver fish slid into frame and faced him in the mirror. From a distance, its silver scales shone like pearls, and its belly and tail still had gold streaks in it. Leo took a deep breath. He turned from a black fish into a silver fish? Ew. I don't like silverfish. The buggies. And it wasn't just his new color. He'd become larger and more robust again, growing more and more like a koi. As expected for the rewards of the becoming a koi mission, now he definitely looked like one. This change was a lot more dramatic compared to the time he started growing golden scales. Even if Lao Kong wanted to cover for him now, he didn't know if Prince Jing would be able to help him out. But when he thought about it, black wasn't an option among the choices given. That meant he was never destined to have a normal base color. Leo was a bit worried about how Prince Jing would react. Would Prince Jing be able to accept it if his little black fish disappeared and was replaced with a large silver fish? I wonder. Why do you even ask, my guy? He didn't dare swim around after he changed, so he entered his cave and only left his mouth... What? Oh my god. He didn't dare swim around after his change, so he entered his cave and only left his mouth out in the open. He thought he would slowly reveal himself when Prince Jing came. That way, it wouldn't be too shocking, right? This is like when you get a really, really crazy haircut. Not crazy, but like a big change haircut, and you don't want people to see. During this time, Wang Gogong came over to feed him. It was the first time he'd ever seen Liu fail to swim around excitedly when he saw his favorite foods. Wang Ji thought it was a bit strange, but he didn't question it, and used a jade ruyi to move the food to the mouth of the cave, making it easier for the fish to eat it. Ruyi has a footnote. A ruyi is a decorative Chinese scepter. Its name means as you desire and is a symbol of good fortune. It's cute. Liu was hungry, so he appreciated this. Wang Ji saw the fish mouth flash a bit, and the fish food instantly disappeared. Wang Ji dazedly thought that the fish head seemed to be glowing. Unable to make heads or tails of it, Wang Ji walked away. When Prince Jing came over, he noticed that Xiao Yu had been in his cave for a long time. The usually lively carp wasn't moving at all. Something was fishy. Har har. Prince Jing reached a hand in to pull him out. To pull him out? Okay. But even though he managed to get a hold of the fish, Prince Jing wasn't able to remove him. Of course. Liu sobbed. I'm stuck again. Oh no. His fish had been stuck before, so Prince Jing guessed that this carp spirit must have had another growth spurt. He immediately ordered the warning. He immediately he immediately ordered his servants to move the ornamental mountain and save the fish trapped inside. When the ornamental mountain was moved out of the way, a fish with glittering silver scales and a pitiful gaze swam out. Prince Jing stared at him. Leo was afraid his tyrant master didn't recognize him, so he blew some friendly bubbles and curled the tip of his newly silver tail around Prince Jing's finger. Prince Jing could see that his fish's color had changed a lot. Even if he was mentally prepared for this eventuality, he still needed time to process it. Liu was left with no other choice. He flipped over to show the golden scale on his stomach. He really was the same fish. It was just that his base color changed. Prince Jing finally recovered from the shock and raised his hand, hesitating, then poked the fish's belly. Ugh, this was to help you recognize me, not for you to poke. The silverfish turned back over under his hand, and Prince Jing stroked the smooth back of his fish again. Though the black had changed to silver, it still felt the same, and the fish's reactions were the same as well. It was definitely Xiao Yu. Hydrate! Thanks for the hydrate. I will hydrate with my tea. That is kind of lukewarm now. Okay. Where was I? The little carp... Nope, wait. Did I say it was definitely... Yeah, I did. Okay. The little carp spun around in the water twice. Seeing that his tyrant master had started petting him again, Liu let out a small sigh of relief, but at the same time his suspicions increased. How come Prince Jing accepted it so quickly? It was just like last time when he grew golden scales and got bigger. Wasn't Prince Jing a bit too calm as a fish owner? He couldn't think of a better description than calm. Maybe this was also part of the protagonist's halo? If Prince Jing gaped in surprise like Yeshizi would, his image would be a little ruined. Prince Jing picked the fish up without hesitation and measured him against his arm. His fish had indeed grown larger. Xiao Yu was as long as his forearm now. Wow. What was going to happen in the future? Prince Jing realized that his fish always exceeded his expectations, so he was quite looking forward to it. Since his fish had suddenly grown again, the current tea bowls and fish tanks were no longer usable. I'm pretty sure the fish tank is probably still usable, my guy. Prince Jing took his fish and walked outside to put him in the large pond right outside the room, while he ordered people to quickly bring out larger tea bowls. You're gonna have to have, like, kid pools instead of tea bowls at this point. I don't know. I don't know if this is... Okay. Prince Jing had thought of this problem the last time his fish got bigger. He was a very far-sighted person. When he was choosing new tea bowls last time, he acquired even larger ones as well, and all they had to do now was retrieve them. Liu soon received a red lotus tea bowl that fit his new body. At the same time, Prince Jing warned everybody in the manor, including Wang Ji, that Xiao Yu was going to keep changing. Now that Xiao Yu was confirmed to be a koi, with Lao Kong's guarantee as well as the Emperor's orders, no matter how much he changed in the future, it would seem like his natural koi transformation. One good thing that came out of this change was being able to confirm what Lao Kong said. Prince Jing weighed the pros and cons, and 3 days after his fish changed to a silver koi, he finally wrote to the Emperor about it, slightly editing the sequence of events. He obviously couldn't say that Xiao Yu had immediately completely changed color, so he maintained the excuse that Xiao Yu was still growing new scales. It was more believable anyway. While Prince Jing was working hard to cover up for his fish, Xiao Yu didn't have very many worries after Prince Jing readily accepted him. His tyrant master always protected him well, and he had an inexplicable confidence in him. With the koi mission completed, he had to start focusing on the revitalizing the family mission, but the main quest was still stuck on the first step, the indulge quest. Okay. To do that, he suspected he needed some wine. One day, after his major koi transformation, Liu changed into a human when Prince Jing wasn't around. Remembering that Prince Jing liked to read cultivation books recently, the first thing he did was hide those books, so they couldn't be easily found. Stupid. Then he sought out Wang Ji to settle the wine matter as soon as possible. Wang Gongong, may I ask where the wine is? Liu politely asked once he located him. He had a gift box in his hand. When asking for a favor, it was necessary to prepare for something to show thanks, especially in ancient times. Liu didn't know what he could give as a gift. Most of his belongings came from Prince Jing, so he couldn't give those away. After much thought, he packed up a couple of pieces of his favorite desserts and put them in a box, using a red ribbon to tie it prettily. Wang Ji smiled at him, and Liu shoved the box over. He's so... Today he was wearing a pearl white robe. The collar and hem were embroidered with seamlessly endless golden water ripples, and the cuffs were encircled with small jade beads, each the size of a rice grain. The belt was made of loose, colorful fabric, and he wore silver-patterned white boots. Prince Jing would occasionally give him old clothes, and this outfit in particular was very similar to his current fish body. Shortly after he'd received it, it became his new favorite, and he wore it everywhere to show it off. It's too cute. Li Gongji obviously didn't know much about the clothes he was wearing, but Wang Ji knew all about it. He'd ordered these clothes overnight from the best tailor in the imperial city according to Prince Jing's wishes, and gave them to Prince Jing after they were cleaned. For some asinine reason, His Highness would always call those new clothes old clothes and give them to Li Gongji. And Li Gongji didn't even notice, but every time Li Gongji put on a new set of clothes, His Highness would hide. What? His Highness would hide and watch for a long time. What? My guy, he's playing dress up with him. And I would too. Ugh! They are so me. Both of them. Wang Ji could tell that His Highness cared a lot about Li Gongji, even though the way he showed it was strange. Even Wang Ji couldn't help but want to smile when he looked at the young man in white. Li Gongji rarely came out of his room and didn't interact with others much, but he was always polite and didn't put on airs. Wang Gongong weighed the gift in his hand. It wasn't strange that His Highness would like such an endearing boy. Why are you asking me about wine? Wang Ji asked, smiling. Do you want to drink some? Liu nodded. His real whoa, what the? Jeepers! His real goal was to finish the mission, and drinking wine was just a way to get there, but it wasn't wrong to say that he wanted to drink. His Highness has ordered that we are to get you anything you want. Please come with me, Gongji. Wang Ji held the gift box and brought Liu to the wine cellar. Liu's eyes widened as he stared at the rows of wine jars in Prince Jing's manor. That many? Wang Ji smiled. There's wine from other manors and from the palace. What kind do you want? Do you know its name? Liu blinked. He wanted one that would allow him to complete his mission immediately. Struggling, he said, I don't know. Apart from green plum wine, is there any other kind that aren't so easy to get drunk off of? There is. There's one called Amber Light, made from grapes. Even women and children can drink it safely. Just grape juice? Wang Ji patiently introduced it to Liu and chose a small jar of Amber Light for him. Liu left excitedly, carrying the wine jar. Wang Ji was loyal to Prince Jing and immediately reported it to him. Xiao Yu wanted some wine? Unsurprisingly, Prince Jing was worried. To his knowledge, the carp spirit's alcohol tolerance was quite low. To prevent his fish from transforming randomly when he was drunk, Prince Jing decided to stay with him. Wang Ji volunteered to lead Prince Jing to find Li Gongji. After taking a few steps, Prince Jing noticed that the gift box in Wang Ji's noticed the gift box in Wangji's hand. His expression said he clearly wanted to know what it was. 10 minutes later, Prince Jing expressionlessly put away the handmade gift box from Zhao Yu. Wang Gongong held the money that His Highness had given him in exchange, feeling both ashamed and amused. I hate them. I hate them! God. That's the end of the chapter. They're so fucking dumb. They're just so dumb. Oh my god. Infuriating, I say. And now, this next chapter is called Fishy Smashed Cucumber. I think we're just gonna get into it, because my throat's okay. I don't really need tea right now that much. So, I think we're just gonna keep going. Usually I stop at, like, I take a break at, like, 2 chapters, but I think we're good to go. Oh my god. Chapter 50. Fishy Smashed Cucumber. I have no idea what's... It's fine. It's fine, we'll find out. We'll find out together. Liu got the wine he wanted. The fish scamming system's mission usually just had scary titles, and he couldn't complete them on his own with no problems. So clearly, they weren't actually too hard. Indulging could mean indulging in a drink. He didn't have to overthink it. He suspected that he only needed Prince Jing to drink a sip. Considering his Tyrant Master's injury, he had just closed up, and one shouldn't drink too much when injured. Liu had no plans to get him drunk. He opened the jar of wine that Wang Ji had given him, took out just half a cup of the fragrant wine, and poured it into another clean jade container. He then added several cups of cool tea, and after he mixed them together, the scent of wine was nearly imperceptible. This way, he could complete the mission easily without getting him drunk. And it wouldn't affect Prince Jing's injury. He was probably the best in the world at oh my god, why? So stupid! He was probably the best in the world at completing missions. I can't deal with him. Liu happily put away the mixed wine, but an important question arose after his preparations. How was he going to get Prince Jing to drink this diluted wine? Prince Jing was a prince. Usually, a servant would test all his food with a silver needle to taste some in front of him. If the wine Liu had tampered with was tested first, it would be discovered before Prince Jing could drink it. A servant would definitely not serve such wine to his master. So he had to take charge of pouring the wine in front of Prince Jing and tasting it himself. Prince Jing seemed to trust him a lot. He even ate the snacks Liu gave him when he was injured. Liu thought it should work, but that meant he had to use his human form to complete the quest. Well, he supposed it was fine either way. The system had never specified whether he had to use his fish form or human form. He couldn't drink wine as fish, so even if it was diluted wine... Wow, I read that wrong. He couldn't drink wine as a fish, even if it was diluted wine, so it was easiest to use his human body. No shit. I don't understand why that's even a question for you, my guy. He says he's not gonna make it complicated, but then he goes ahead and makes things complicated. My god. He had invited Prince Jing over first in order to drink wine. He had to invite Prince Jing over first in order to drink wine. The excuse he would use was to invite him to dinner? Date night. He had to I just read that. It was the only excuse Liu could think of at the moment. He had lived at Prince Jing's manor for a while now, and whether he was a fish or human, Prince Jing had always taken good care of him.
It was reasonable for him to want to repay Prince Jing with dinner. In the end, after an internal debate, it seemed the key was to invite Prince Jing to dinner. What debate? Where was the debate? I can't. Leo suddenly remembered that the fish scamming system had added luck points to his well-fed and well-clothed stat. Did that mean he'd suddenly become an excellent cook? Why not use this chance to try it out? You only have 2 hours, my guy. Leo rubbed his hands, feeling like the god of cooking had possessed him. Deciding that he still had enough time left in his human form, and that he didn't need to cook anything too complicated the first time, he decided a simple home-cooked meal would be fine. What is a simple home-cooked meal? What is simple about that? Liu ducked into the manor's kitchen. Prince Jing normally didn't keep him from going anywhere, but as Liu was afraid that he would run out of time in his human form, he hardly ever wandered around. He'd only come out a couple of times, but despite this, a lot of people in the manor already knew him. Among them were the kitchen staff who would make Liu's favorite food. When the kitchen servants saw him, they were surprised but welcoming. Everyone knew how much His Highness valued Liu Gongzi, after all. Liu had no intention of troubling them at first, and asked them to continue with their work after saying hello. Auntie Zhu, who had helped him before, was in the kitchen as well. Aww. Liu asked her for help, afraid that he wasn't familiar with the rules here. Auntie Zhu had been beaten as punishment because of Liu before. At the time, Prince Jing hadn't gotten to know Liu, and still thought he was a fish thief. Auntie Zhu was punished as a result, and Liu still felt extremely guilty. Once he was able to move freely around in the manor, he'd found her in person and apologized directly. Auntie Zhu knew that it was all a misunderstanding and was quite open-minded. She did violate the rules of the manor, so the punishment couldn't be considered unfair. She never held a grudge and didn't blame Liu. Later on, when Prince Jing realized the truth, he increased her monthly wage as compensation, and Auntie Zhu said that it was a blessing in disguise. Leo mentioned that he wanted to personally make a dish for Prince Jing. Auntie Zhu stopped the work she was doing, and Leo decided on an easy cucumber and egg dish. I don't know what else I expected. I don't have any cucumbers though. I want kimchi. Cucumbers and eggs were both available in the kitchen, and it was hard to mess up. Auntie Zhu helped him wash the cucumbers, beat the eggs, and told him where different condiments were kept. It was said that a noble man stays far from the kitchen. For a man as noble as Li Gongzi to want to cook, he must be confident in his skills. Oh no. Auntie Zhu felt like she would be able to witness something novel today. And she did witness something novel. But not because of any great talent. It was because Li Gongzi really wasn't cut out for cooking. In all the years Auntie Zhu had been working in the kitchen, he'd never seen a newbie like him. It was just stir-frying eggs and cucumber together. How hard could it be? But Liu ended up somehow wrecking chaos on the entire kitchen. Of course. Of course. Liu thought he was Liu thought he was a cooking god before he stepped into this kitchen, but instead he was scrambling for his life the moment the oil began to sizzle on the wok. He was frustrated and disappointed. He knew that the system liked to scam fish, so why couldn't he remember that? What coy's good luck? He didn't feel it at all. The spatula felt strange in his hand any way he held it, and after he once again burned the eggs Auntie Zhu had already beaten for him, there were no more eggs in the kitchen! Like, I used all the fucking eggs? Y'all probably raised chickens or something. There's no way you don't have an abundance of eggs. There wasn't any time for someone to get more either. Liu finally learned a painful lesson that some skills could not come from nothing with just luck. Nope. Nope. Also, I've never heard about cucumbers being stir-fried with eggs. Is that an actual thing, or are we talking about, like, zucchinis? Because I don't know about cucumbers being cooked like that. Isn't it just gonna be watery? That's zucchini, right? I don't know. But he'd already decided he was going to cook for Prince Jing, and he still had to complete his quest. Liu thought about it helplessly. Since there were no more eggs, why didn't he go for something easier? Instead of cucumber and egg, why not just smash a couple of cucumbers and make cucumber salad? He should know how to do that at least. Liu pressed the back of the knife against a juicy cucumber and whacked it fearlessly. Oh my god. There were no big problems this time, but the cucumber shapes that resulted were extremely inconsistent. Liu, acting entirely on instinct, haphazardly dumped a few tablespoons. Oh my god. Oh my god, dumped a few tablespoons of soy sauce and vinegar over it, making Auntie Shu very nervous. Yeah, me too. Me too. The chefs of the palace had standards for not only the taste of the dish, but its appearance as well. In the hopes of impressing their masters, that was a comma, not a period. In the hopes of impressing their masters. It would probably be very difficult for His Highness to enjoy Liu's cucumbers. I don't know about that. I think I should shut up. I should shut up. I should shut up. Okay. I'm just saying. I don't know. Actually, you can make a cucumber salad like that, like by sort of smushing them instead of chopping them, really. If you have like the small ones. Oh my god, it's a party! I haven't looked up in a while. It's a party out here. I love stream avatars. Gongji, why don't you make soup? How about fish soup? Oh my god. Auntie Zhu carefully suggested, watching Liu's expression. She really wanted to help him. It was clear that Li Gongji wasn't good at cooking, so making fish soup would be better. She could handle preparing the fish, and Li Gongji only had to put it in the pot to cook it. His Highness had also not had fish soup for a long time, so even if it didn't taste good, it wouldn't be a huge deal. I don't think he's gonna be appreciative of that. And I see it sounded wow. I have no formed words. Words don't form. I was trying to speak earlier, and it wasn't working. That's the end of it, I guess. I keep mixing up my the first letters of the words of the phrases that I want to say. What I'm trying to say is that an ad is starting soon, so I'm gonna stall for a bit. While that runs, it's still saying starting soon, and it's not starting. My guy, why? Maybe just start already. That would be fine. I love it. It's like I have to wait double amount for it to actually be done. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna look at how much longer is this chapter. It's only 2 more pages. Well, 4. Oh my god. I think we can read at least 4 chapters today. We can definitely get through 4 chapters. Eee! I need to stop looking ahead at the illustrations, but I love them so much, and they're so cute, and I'm gonna die, okay? Oy. Okay. Are you back? What ad did you get? Let me know. Was it a good ad or was it a bad ad? Actually, all ads are bad, so. Except dropout ads. I like dropout ads. They're fun. But I don't think we get those on Twitch. Okay. Fish soup. Auntie Zhu had good intentions. Already stressed out, Liu was shocked by the words fish soup. Sob, sob, sob. It wasn't a bad idea, but he was a fish. How could he make another fish into soup? Cannibalism. Liu politely declined. He was determined to finish the dish he'd said he would finish, even if he had to do it on his knees. He didn't have much time left in his human form, and he still needed to complete his mission. Liu took the plate of small cucumbers he ended up with and went to offer his treasure to Prince Jing. Oh boy, my guy just poured in soy sauce and vinegar. You don't... Okay, to make good... Actually, I like to make like a Korean salad thing, and I could just use this for just cucumbers. It's really nice, but it's soy sauce, vinegar, gochugaru, which is red pepper flakes, sesame seeds, sesame oil, fish sauce. Fish sauce is important. I love fish sauce. Oh my god. And then some sugar. That's it. I like to add a ton of vinegar though, because I just like pickles. Anyway. He's just gonna give us soy sauce, vinegar, pickles. Oh my god. Where? Okay. Auntie Ju was left to clean up his mess in the kitchen. The parts of the kitchen that Li Gongji had used looked like the aftermath of a plague of locusts, and Auntie Ju wasn't sure what to say. Meanwhile, Prince Jing had heard from Wang Ji early on and rushed over to find Xiao Yu, but he wasn't there. The jar of wine that Wang Ji had given Xiao Yu was hidden away, as if he had no intentions of drinking it with Prince Jing. What on earth was going on? The carved spirit had tucked the wine jar under the bed, with a large, obvious bowl covering it, as if to hide it. The fish was away, so Prince Jing secretly took it out to check and found that the wine was practically untouched. Next to the wine jar was another bottle of extremely diluted wine. Prince Jing couldn't work out what the fish wanted to do. He had put the wine jar and wine bottle back in their original spots so the fish wouldn't notice. No, not yet. We're getting there. Just chill. Oh my god. He did a sloppy job at making at cutting cucumbers. That's what he did. It was surprising that Liu wasn't in the room. Prince Jing let him roam around as he pleased in the manor, but when he left the room, he would have someone keep an eye on him in case of an emergency. Soon, a guard reported that Li Gongji was in the kitchen, saying he was going to cook for Prince Jing. Prince Jing was pleased, even if the wine wasn't for him. Xiao Yu still cared about him. He was afraid that Xiao Yu would encounter some sort of danger in the kitchen, such as turning back into a fish, so Prince Jing rushed there to keep an eye on him. While Liu was sweating buckets trying to conquer pots and pans, Prince Jing was right outside the door. Oh, he watched it be a disaster. Oh my god. The servants all knelt on the floor, keeping him company. Keeping him company as he quietly watched the young man bustling around inside. Stupid. Oh my god. Oh my god, they're just watching the show. His fish was working so hard here just for him. It was impossible for Prince Jing to calm the warm ripples that spread across his heart. Oh man. Liu rushed back into the room carrying his smashed cucumbers. To his surprise, Prince Jing was already sitting casually in the room as if nothing was going on. He probably had to race back as soon as he saw Liu bolt. Liu smiled as soon as if nothing was going on. It has 3 question marks after that, by the way. Liu smiled nervously. Your Highness, are you free? I'd like to have a meal with you. A meal. He calls this thing a meal. He was afraid that Prince Jing would refuse him. There wasn't much time left in his transformation, so if he declined, then he would have to wait until next time. And he'd have to smash the cucumbers all over again too. He was extremely nervous, but Prince Jing nodded without hesitation. Sure. Oh! Your Highness, please wait a moment. It'll be ready soon. Overjoyed, Liu quickly put down the cucumber salad. His meal was actually just one dish. It really was a bit of a sad sight. This was where the wine could come into play. I'm sorry, but you're gonna have like a cucumber salad with wine? I don't think that's a very good combo, but okay. Oh my god. Liu took the wine bottle out from beneath the bed and smiled sheepishly at Prince Jing. Your Highness, it's not enough to just eat. Let's pair it with some wine. This wine is very light, so it's not a problem. So the wine was for him after all, Prince Jing smiled, showing that he didn't mind in the least. Liu had waited for this moment. He found two wine cups and filled them up with the mixed wine, then worked up the courage to take a sip. Everything was in place, as expected. Prince Jing would drink the wine first and then eat the dish, and his indulge mission would be completed. I don't think so, but okay. Liu's burning gaze followed Prince Jing's slender fingers as he held the wine cup. A moment later, he put the cup down and picked up a soft cucumber with his silver chopsticks. Yeah, he could eat the cucumber first too. Liu sat there and waited for Prince Jing to take a bite out of the cucumber, and then kept waiting for a response. How is it? What do you think, Your Highness? Liu nervously prompted. Apart from completing his mission, he also wanted to know if the cucumbers he smashed were tasty or not. Prince Jing's expression didn't change. He swallowed the alarmingly seasoned cucumber and picked up another piece. Liu excitedly thought, was the system not scamming him? Was he actually a charmed koi in the world of chefs? Prince Jing finished Xiao Yu's salad, lifted the wine cup, and took a sip of the diluted wine. What a fucking simp! Liu waited nervously for the system's notification, but time passed, and even when Prince Jing was almost finished with the cup of wine, the mission had still not been updated. Liu's clever plan seemed to have failed somehow. Why didn't it work? He pouted in frustration. If this didn't work, then how was he going to complete the mission? Liu was dejected for a bit, but soon realized that Prince Jing, who was sitting across from him and drinking wine, had been silent for a while. When he looked up, Prince Jing had his hand on his forehead, his eyes closed. What? No way. Was the tyrant drunk on just the diluted wine? Wasn't this the man who drank several cups of green plum wine in the row? But he heard that alcohol tolerance was unreliable and possibly dependent on mood and the body. Perhaps Prince Jing actually couldn't hold his liquor that well. I don't think that's what I think he's fucking faking again because he's a fucking simp and he wants you to kiss him. That's it. Ugh. If he fell asleep while drunk like this, he would catch a cold. Liu was quite responsible when it came to taking care of Prince Jing. He took the initiative to put Prince Jing's arm on his shoulder and lift him upward. He meant to help him into bed, but Prince Jing was much taller than him, and it was difficult to support him with just his shoulder. Liu finally put him down and put a quilt over him, getting ready to leave, when suddenly his sleeves pulled and held him back. No way! I'm so shocked. Maybe his sleeves had been accidentally caught under Prince Jing when he put him down, or maybe he tripped a little. Either way, he was yanked back somehow. Liu fell onto Prince Jing. He blinked, somewhat confused at what was happening. Then he saw the person underneath him open his eyes. I'm going to kill myself. That's all. You know, that's all. They're such fucking simps for each other. I can't stand it. They're so sick. They are sick. I am homophobic. I can't deal with this anymore. Oh my god. Alright, I'm gonna take a break here to get more tea. I will be right back with more tea. And we will continue, even though we've already read 3 chapters, we will continue on to chapter 51 called A Fishy Falling Out. This one's a little bit longer than the other ones. Actually, no, it's not. It is so not. These chapters are so short. We might even be able to get through 5 chapters today. We'll see. We'll see. I'll be right back. I will run an ad while I'm gone so it doesn't have to bother us later. So, I'll do that. Okay, BRB.
Hello, I'm back. Hello, I'm back. Hello, I'm back. I have tea. Hello, I'm back. I have tea. Did you know that people are recalling, like a lot of companies are recalling fucking cucumbers for listeria? I just learned that because I was like, we should go to H Mart to my roommate and then to get cucumbers, and then she was like, yeah, we can't get cucumbers. What? What the fuck is listeria? I don't know, but doesn't sound good. Anyway, my tea is too hot to start. So, how's your day? How's your day going? My day pretty much just started. I woke up and then I, stalled thinking about what I should eat. And then I ate. And it took forever because I had to heat up the oven. Because I made some chicken nuggies and fries. Really? Yep. I mean, I didn't fact check her, but like, I don't see why she would fucking lie to me about that. I guess though. I guess cucumbers are not safe to eat right now. Unless you grow them. We're gonna have to grow some cucumbers. It's like the fucking... What, lettuce and Ebola? What's it, Ebola? I actually don't remember what it was. Some disease. Lettuce, the romaine lettuce thing that happened a while back. I think it's kind of still happening, but people just don't talk about it. Yeah, nothing's safe to eat anymore. Sorry to say. First day of school, basically at school all day. Jeez, ugh. Okay, sorry. Sorry for you. Goodbye all my cucumbers though, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. That makes me so sad, because after reading this chapter, I really wanted to make oi kimchi. Just cucumber kimchi. But I can't. I guess I'll have to settle for my radish kimchi. That is like really, really fermented, because we kind of forgot about it in the fridge for a long time. But it's so good! It's so good! I love kimchi! I've had like a kimchi... I just hadn't been eating kimchi for like the past 2 weeks, and then I ate it again. I was like, what the fuck have I been doing this whole time? I just forgot about kimchi. And then I remembered it. It's so good. It's still too hot. Anyway, if you haven't had kimchi, go try it. If you don't like it, I don't want to hear it. Nah, if you don't like it, that's fair. That's fair, but it's also racist of you, so... So you just have to accept that. Okay, that's barely drinkable. Let's get started again then. A Fishy falling out. Chapter 51. Oop. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. It's probably just the mailman or something. They go crazy with the mailman. I don't know why. It's like they go crazy with any delivery service that or people that come by. But with the mailman especially. Just this one guy. Oh my god. Oh my god. I forgot that I left on a cliffhanger. Okay. Fishy falling out. Ignore them for a second. They'll just be doing that probably. Liu's eyes met the black ones below him,
and he immediately tried to get back up. "I'm sorry, Your Highness, I accidentally fell," he quickly explained in a hushed voice. He'd reacted pretty quickly, and he probably didn't fall onto Prince Jing very hard. Hopefully, if he apologized, Prince Jing wouldn't blame him. But Prince Jing wasn't a petty person, and in either fish form or human form, Liu had bothered to tease him before. Liu had bothered and teased him before. Liu was quite sure that Prince Jing wouldn't be angry with him, but Prince Jing didn't do anything to suggest forgiveness either. He just kept staring at him with his dark eyes. Being stared at for so long, Liu's fish intuition told him something was wrong. He was about to get up in a panic, but the person under him was faster than he was. Prince Jing folded him into his arms. Liu's face was thus pressed against Prince Jing's chest. Prince Jing wasn't satisfied with just this. He held... "No, don't do this to me." He held Liu's waist with his other hand, and, as if afraid he would run away... No and. What the hell? He held Liu's waist with his other hand, as if afraid he would run away. I hate them. What was he doing? The warmth of the hand on his waist made Liu a little uncomfortable, and Prince Jing was still staring at him, even though they were so close. It was giving him goosebumps. Although he couldn't read Prince Jing's thoughts with just a glance like Wang Ji could, between his understanding of the novel and his interactions with Prince Jing, as both human and a fish, Liu could usually figure out a thing or two. But not in absurd moments like this. With some difficulty, Liu asked, "Your Highness, what are you doing?" His Highness wanted to do you. Of course! I hate this! I hate this book! Oh my god, it just pops out of nowhere! His Highness wanted to do you, of course. Prince Jing hugged Liu and tucked a loose strand of his fish's hair behind his ear as he thought about how to make the person in his arms understand what he meant. It was inconvenient that he couldn't speak, but if he let him go during such a good opportunity to look for a brush and paper, it would kill the mood. The carp spirit might not let him hold him again. Prince Jing had noticed that the fish hadn't come to absorb essence in a long time. He was concerned that this fish had gotten enough from him and intended to switch to someone else. For example, a certain little Chubbs whom the carp spirit couldn't forget. I hate it. It's so dumb! They're so stupid! Prince Jing had ordered Wang Ji to look into it, but still hadn't figured out who it was. "It's you idiot!" God. Sorry for shouting so much, but I actually can't contain it. I can't contain it in my little body. Oh. Everyone in the manor liked the carp spirit. Prince Jing was pleased, but he also felt like other people were coveting his treasure. Such conflicting emotions left him feeling dissatisfied. It wasn't enough that the carp spirit was part of his household. He had to personally claim the carp. This fish had come for him, and he was his, not to be coveted by others. Well, he's not going anywhere, my guy! The carp spirit apparently still had no intentions of revealing his identity as a Yao to Prince Jing. Prince Jing had asked Lao Kong several questions when he had the chance, and Lao Kong solemnly replied that the Yao probably came to the mortal world to undergo a tribulation. It was best not to mess up his plans, lest the Yao fail his tribulation and get hurt instead. Prince Jing understood, and he couldn't expose his true feelings to Xiao Yu in case it affected him. When Prince Jing thought about it carefully, though, he felt it didn't really matter if he couldn't expose Xiao Yu's true identity. If Xiao Yu didn't want him to know, he would just pretend he didn't know. But that would stop him from claiming the human Xiao Yu as his own. Quite apart from his identity as a Yao, Xiao Yu was a distinguished guest in his residence. There was nothing wrong with him liking Xiao Yu. Before the scholars in the books found out, weren't they also living a good normal life with their Yao?
This guy.
In his lifetime, Prince Jing had never cared about someone so much. He had finally found the one. It's just one thing after the other. I can't take it. Since he was a child, he was taught that he should take in whoever he liked. But if the carp spirit refused to come suck his essence, stop. Prince Jing felt like he was in danger. He tried his best to study the books on cultivation, but he still didn't understand a lot of it. He didn't know why Zhao Yu wouldn't come suck him. Stop it! Stop it! I can't be saying these words! Human life was limited, and he didn't know how much longer it would take him. He might as well make the first move himself. Okay. Sure. I'm trying to check if this book was rated 16, 17 and up. I don't think it was, so I think we're still safe to keep reading, but okay. I didn't have to show my ID for this book, so I think we're good. Oh my god. Prince Jing had already come to this decision when he heard that his fish was going to invite him to drink. Otherwise, he wouldn't have accepted the invitation so readily. He even used a little trick to pretend to be drunk, letting the fish approach him unguarded. Your Highness, can you let go of me? Liu asked weakly. Whether he was laying on Prince Jing or being held by Prince Jing, both positions made Liu feel guilty. Prince Jing was drunk, but Liu wasn't. It felt like he was taking advantage of him. How could an innocent boy do such a thing? He wanted to get off Prince Jing immediately. There wasn't much time until his transformation ended besides. The hand that was tucking Liu's hair behind his ear stilled for a moment. Prince Jing had no intention of letting go. Instead, he gently held Liu's jaw, running a thumb over the young man's plump lips. He wasn't going to go easy on the fish. I can't deal with this. Liu was feeling very awkward about the drunk Prince Jing's teasing. Drunk is in parentheses. As a fish, he'd already bitten Prince Jing several times now, so now that he was being hugged so tightly he couldn't move, he decided to open his mouth and bite Prince Jing's finger. That's not gonna work. Hoping to give the drunk man a little shock of pain to sober him up. That is not what's gonna happen. Nope. Yep. What the fuck would you say? Okay. But everything backfired. When he bit down, the look on Prince Jing's eyes changed. He flipped open the quilt without hesitation and wrapped Zhao Yu in it to prevent him from escaping. Liu's eyes widened as he was suddenly engulfed by a blanket and darkness. Fuck! What was he trying to do? Before he could protest, a warm, soft touch came over his lips. The motion tentative at first. He heard the other person's content sigh, and the softness touched him again, firmly caressing his lips. Trapped in the dark blindness, Liu couldn't see or hear anything. His head was about to explode. He was young, but he wasn't completely oblivious to basic human affairs. This touch on his lips was obviously a kiss. I'm sorry, is it through the blanket, or is it just like, are his eyes covered? I'm kind of confused. It seems like it's not through the blanket. It seems like it's a direct kiss, but I'm not quite sure what's going on. It was evident who it was. Bastard! How could he treat him like this? He'd obviously mistaken him for a lover. Guy! My guy, you are gay!
let him be gay. There's literally male consorts or concubines, and you're just like not okay. Idiot. Liu was fuming, feeling ashamed and angry, but he was wrapped in a quilt and his opponent was much stronger, so he couldn't break free. The more he struggled, the more excited the other party became. Uh-oh. Liu could barely breathe and his body felt like it'd been electrocuted, loose and soft. He whimpered a few times and Okay, sorry. It's the word is split up because it's on the next line. He whimpered a few times and pummeled the other person in embarrassed fury, but it only made the kiss more urgent. Liu felt like he would die of suffocation if this went on, so when the other person tried to pry open his teeth, Liu hesitated and pretended to give up his resistance. As Prince Jing invaded and gently prodded him, Liu ruthlessly bit his tongue. He bit too quickly and too hard, and immediately tasted blood. Still afraid Prince Jing wouldn't let him go, he somehow freed a leg and kicked upward without thinking. Oh my god. In pain, Prince Jing unhanded Liu, who pushed the quilt away and jumped off the bed. His white clothes had gotten messed up while he was thrashing around under the blanket. Liu was both aggrieved and afraid and angrily yelled, "You have the wrong person! I'm not some other lover!" He's just mad about... Okay, we're continuing. He lifted his head and saw Prince Jing frowning, uncovering his injured mouth. Liu understood immediately. He didn't like... What? He didn't look like a drunkard at all. So you weren't drunk, Liu suddenly realized the truth. Prince Jing wasn't actually drunk. So he'd done all that to Liu on purpose. He wanted to bully and molest him. What a huge asshole. Was this the true face of the Tyrant Master who had always been so kind to him? He was stunned, feeling angry, embarrassed, and disappointed. He couldn't tell which one he felt the most, but his head was buzzing. And just then, the system started the countdown to his transformation. Ah! He was going to turn back into a fish! Liu had never been so panicked before. He definitely couldn't change back in front of Prince Jing. Out of desperation, he followed his instincts and ran away. Prince Jing hadn't expected him to react like this. After a moment of stunned silence, he started to chase after him. But his tongue hurt, and when he took his hand away, it was bloody. The carp spirit bit him so hard, Prince Jing didn't know how he'd offended him. Really? In his own mind, he'd never thought that the carp spirit would resist. He hadn't assumed the carp spirit... What? He hadn't assumed the carp spirit that always tried to please him would dislike being treated this way. Liu ran outside in a flash, still shaking uncontrollably with emotion. His transformation time was up, and he turned back into a fish and fell to the ground. Not long after, Prince Jing came running after him and saw a fish flopping on the ground. Coming to a halt, Prince Jing carefully picked up the fish. Liu saw him and was reminded of how he was bullied just now and suddenly became sad. What kind of asshole master was this? How could he bully even a fish? Ah! Liu flapped vigorously in Prince Jing's hand, wanting to be left alone. Prince Jing could tell his fish was unhappy, but he wouldn't let him go. He held the relentless, squirming fish and returned to his room, placing him gently back in his tank. Maybe it would be better to put him in the pond, but Prince Jing could tell that his fish was angry right now, so he was afraid that the fish would hide down there and never return. So stubbornly, he put the fish back into the crystal fish tank. Even if Xiaoyu was unhappy, he couldn't let him out of his sight. Having escaped from his asshole master, the little carp swam to the silver stone bed and lay under the leaf blanket, edged with gold, refusing to come out. After laying there for a bit, defeated, he remembered that both the quilt and bed were gifts from Prince Jing. The bullied indignant fish flicked the blanket away. immediately and plunged headfirst into the ornamental mountain cave instead. He knew he shouldn't be using his fish form to express his anger at Prince Jing. Prince Jing didn't see him transform and didn't know his true identity. Womp womp. As far as he was aware, he had bullied Liu the person, and it would be strange for the fish he was raising to suddenly be upset. But Liu's mind was already in turmoil. He was still the one who was taken advantage of and molested, so wasn't it normal for him to be upset? Apart from his shock, shame, and fury, he couldn't figure out why Prince Jing had bullied him. Bully, I go! He hadn't spent that much time with him in his human form. He hadn't spent that much time in his let me take a sip of tea. My tongue is wanting to stick to the roof of my mouth and not move. He hadn't spent that much time with him in his human form. Did he seem like such an easy person to Prince Jing? What a douchebag to treat him like that! Liu was furious whenever he thought of it, so he swam out of the cave, took the blanket, and tried to rip it apart as if it were Prince Jing. But it was soon clear that the blanket was too strong. He swam headfirst into the pile of colorful gems and tossed the round stones as far as he could, but that still didn't help him calm down at all. In the end, he slammed his head against the crystal fish tank. But he didn't dare do it too hard in case the fish tank broke. Oh right, he was pretty sure he'd kicked Prince Jing earlier. He didn't damage him permanently, did he? Of course not. He'd kicked randomly and probably not very accurately. He couldn't do anything. And why was he starting to worry about that bastard? Anger! Liu was thumping the crystal fish tank again when a figure suddenly appeared before him. He looked up and saw Prince Jing standing in front of the fish tank, holding a jade box filled with fish food and peach blossom pastries. Really? Asshole, I'm ignoring you. Liu whisked his tail. I've decided. I'm going on a hunger strike. He immediately swam back into the cave, even hiding the tip of his tail. Prince Jing watched the fish, bemused. He sprinkled a handful of fish food into the tank, but the fish that was normally greedy for food didn't come out. Prince Jing shook his head helplessly and left the food there. He hid far away and tried to peek at his fish, but there was no movement from the tail. Since his fish had thrown tantrums before but always recovered eventually, Prince Jing thought it would be the same this time. But after a few days, the fish continued hiding in the cave, refusing to come out, much less transform. Even if Prince Jing wanted to explain, he wasn't given a chance to. Prince Jing suddenly realized that the situation wasn't looking good. The fish seemed to be determined to ignore him forever. Good thing I didn't kick him there. Good thing I didn't kick him there. Sob, sob, sob. I hate you the most. That's the end of the chapter. That is the end of the chapter. I hate them. I hate them. I cannot form words because I am about to cry with how stupid they are. I need them to just talk. Or write, more like. They are both so dumb. I know. They are the dumbest motherfuckers. Anyway, the next chapter is called Fish on Strike. Chapter 52 on page 151. And I think we're gonna read this chapter and then we're gonna call it because it's coming up on 2 hours. That's, like, my only reasoning. Oh my god, it's like about 10 pages or whatever. But, god, they're so stupid. I'm like this every single chapter. By literally the summary of this book could just be they are so fucking stupid. The whole book. The whole time. Fish on strike. Prince Jing was troubled by the fact that Liu wouldn't eat, so he asked Wang Ji to feed him. In the past when they fought, Prince Jing would have Wang Ji feed the little carp, but now Xiao Yu wouldn't even humor Wang Gongong. Asshole, you're in cahoots with each— oh my god. Asshole, you're in cahoots with each other. I'm not stupid. You are so right. It's not like he's stupid. It's not like he's dumb or nothing. Liu stubbornly starved for 2 days. He felt like he was getting skinnier, and like if he wasn't paying attention, he would float right up to the surface. That's not how being skinny works. Prince Jing wasn't very good at coaxing the angry fish, and he didn't really know why Xiao Yu was upset in the first place. So he discussed strategy with Wang Ji. Since he hadn't told Wang Ji about Xiao Yu's true identity, he could only explain both situations separately, so Wang Gongong thought His Highness had run into 2 different situations at the same time. Li Gongji and His Highness had quarreled, so Li Gongji disappeared while Master Fish wouldn't eat. In the past, the fish had been His Highness's favorite, but since Li Gongji's arrival, Wang Ji had seen firsthand how much His Highness doted on Li Gongji. He felt like he had to weigh both situations carefully. He first asked what happened before Li Gongji's quarrel. Prince Jing had sent everyone away that day, so nobody knew what happened, and Wang Ji had no choice but to ask Prince Jing. Prince Jing hinted with his eyes and wrote a few words, leaving Wang Ji so shocked that he couldn't speak. Had Li Gongji refused to sleep with His Highness? If it were anyone else, Wang Ji would have dealt with it according to the rules of the manor, but this was Li Gongji, and His Highness didn't seem to have any intentions of blaming him either. Wang Ji decided to put the rules aside and said, "Your Highness, the most important thing is to find him first." Prince Jing felt a little dejected upon hearing that. Xiao Yu refused to transform because he didn't want to see him. How was he going to find Xiao Yu? Wang Ji knew that Li Gongji was often evasive. Seeing Prince Jing's expression firsthand, he guessed that Li Gongji was hard to find. Wang Ji said, "Then why did he leave in such a hurry? Do you know the reason, Your Highness?" Prince Jing shook his head. Wang Ji was just Wang Ji was what? Blah 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 blah. Wang Ji was just a servant. Though he'd seen and gone through a lot, he wasn't very experienced with relationships. He couldn't think of anything with just the small portions of information Prince Jing had given him. But Wang Ji still wanted to help his master, so he tactfully suggested, "Why don't you ask Yeshizi or about Li Gongji?" Prince Jing paused. That was an idea. Ye Qinghuan was thus quickly invited to the residence. "Tianqi, you finally have something to ask of me." Ye Qinghuan was so happy that Prince Jing would ask for his advice that he grinned so hard it hurt. Prince Jing looked sullen, and Wang Gongong told Ye Shizi everything he knew. He was afraid that Li Gongji would be embarrassed, so he didn't mention him by name. At Prince Jing's signal, he changed it to "the person His Highness likes." Ye Qinghuan was confused. He scratched his chin and said, "It's rare for you to ask me for anything. I want to help, but you know me." Ye Qinghuan smiled, embarrassed. "I'm about to marry the princess, and I don't know what to do myself. I'm afraid I can't help you." Prince Jing gave his unhelpful cousin an unimpressed look. "But my mother wants me to treat the princess well. If I have anyone else, I'd send them away. After I'm married, I should focus my affections only on the princess. If I like her, then I have to let her know as soon as possible. Between a married couple, arguments shouldn't last overnight. The Duke and Duchess of Chang'an had been married for decades, and they had a strong relationship. The Duchess of Chang'an had passed on a lot of her own experiences to her son, and Ye Qinghuan kept these pearls of wisdom like treasures. Of course he's a mama's boy. Of course he is. Though our statuses are different, the principle remains the same. If you really care about them, you should make your feelings known. Asking them to sleep with you immediately is too impatient, don't you think? Prince Jing listened intently. Was he too impatient? A little bit, but nobody had taught him this before. So that must be why Xiao Yu was angry, right? He needed to make it clear to Xiao Yu what his feelings for him were, but if Xiao Yu wasn't willing to transform to see him, then how was he going to save the situation? Prince Jing sank deep into thought. Ye Qinghuan kept rambling on, excitedly prattling about the details of the wedding preparations in the Chang'an manor, so Prince Jing stopped listening. He had to deal with both things at once. He had to explain things to the fish-turned-human, and he had to find a way to make the hunger-striking fish eat. Wang Ji had no way of knowing Li Gongji's heart, but he was still useful when it came to Master Fish. If the fish refused to eat, he couldn't pry open its mouth and force-feed it, so he could only keep trying. Wang Ji suggested that Prince Jing gather all the fish's favorite foods in front of the ornamental mountain cave, so the fish might eat. Wow. Fish's food in front of the ornamental mountain cave, so the fish might eat on its own after some time. But if the food was left in the water for a long time, the water would get dirty. Wang Ji and the servants experienced in raising fish discussed what to do and decided on cleaning out the food once a day and putting in fresh food the next day. Prince Jing thought it made a lot of sense. To make Xiao Yu happy, he put all kinds of delicious food. The fish really wanted to eat it, but he couldn't bring himself to do it. Every time the servants cleaned out the fish was the one who struggled the most and felt the most pain. So much delicious food wasted. Liu held on for 2 days, his entire body visibly shriveled, and even his scales lost their luster. Seeing Prince Jing summon many people to take care of him, anxious to please him, Liu couldn't stand it. Prince Jing didn't know that Liu was his pet fish. He might think that his pet fish was sick and refused to eat, but he couldn't help but be upset when he thought about what Prince Jing did to him. Not eating made him feel a little better out of spite, but if he refused to eat for a long time, he would die of starvation. No, wait, Liu thought about his abrupt, hungry frustration. This wasn't his fault, so why should he starve himself? Would Prince Jing realize why he was upset because he refused to eat? Probably not. Liu suddenly realized that he couldn't torture himself just because he was angry. He was already skin and bones, and the food was right next to him. The last bit of his pride died out as he weakly swam toward the food when Prince Jing wasn't around, wanting to quickly eat a little, just a little. Liu finally approached the mouth of the cave. The scent of the food that he hadn't tasted in a long time made him so emotional that he wanted to cry, but before he could take a bite, a servant came by. Seeing that the fish hadn't touched the food, the servant sighed and took away the food for the day. What? Liu was so hungry that he was dizzy and his eyesight was blurry. No, did he have to wait until tomorrow? Prince Jing, who'd been secretly watching the fish, came over and saw the fish had finally showed his face. Prince Jing gave it some thought and reached for a handful of fish food. When Liu saw the huge bastard's face, he instinctively wanted to turn around, but he was about to die of starvation. The fish food in Prince Jing's hand was tormenting him, and he was so hungry that he had no more energy to swim away. He just gave up and watched as Prince Jing gently placed the fish food in front of him. Fine. Fish could stretch and bend. He shouldn't torture himself. He should have fattened himself up and tortured his asshole master instead. Or he could torture his master's asshole, but Just like that, the fish changed his mind and finally started eating. Prince Jing smiled, extremely relieved. He touched the fish's back with his fingers, but Liu was still on guard. He chewed on his food and moved his back away. Don't think you can bribe me with just some fish food. You can make me eat, but you can't pet me. Prince Jing watched the fish gobble the food up, and the smile on his lips dulled a bit. Liu was so hungry that he felt full after just eating a little bit. Prince Jing remembered what Wang Ji had said. It was bad for fish to be too full. As soon as Liu stopped swallowing, Prince Jing started to push him to swim. After Liu's hunger was gone, a lot of his anger disappeared too. He let Prince Jing push him, thinking it was easier than swimming around himself. When his stomach became more comfortable, he flicked his tail proudly and swam into the cave. He didn't want to sleep on the bed that huge bastard got for him yet. Full and not really angry anymore, Liu entered the Moi Pet system. When he was at his most panicked, he had heard the completed mission notification, so he was confused and wanted to confirm things with the system. You didn't do that before, the whole time you were on strike? Okay, guy. Why was his carefully planned drinking scheme unable to progress the mission? And why was the mission completed when his bastard master bullied him instead? Did he misunderstand something? Was such shameless bullying what the system meant by indulge? Give me a reasonable explanation, he demanded angrily. If you can't give me one, then I won't complete the missions anymore. When the fish scamming system kept scamming him, he endured it silently. But there was a limit to everything. The system better not think that it could keep scamming him just because he was easygoing and honest. Because the user has completed the main mission, Tyrant's priceless pet fish, the path of the following tasks will be determined based off of that. The user is required to develop a deeper relationship with the Tyrant. Simply drinking with him is no longer enough to complete that step. Please think about it, user. The system was talkative for once. You're already his priceless pet fish, so your relationship can only get better from here on out. Yeah, right, Liu huffed coldly. Does a better relationship mean stuffing my human form under a quilt and kissing me by force? What kind of logic is that? But it is a better relationship than priceless, isn't it? The system revealed its talent for debate, rendering Liu speechless. He still felt like something was wrong. Hit with a sudden idea, he went through all the missions he'd done, only to find a huge problem. The fish scamming system's quests all had clickbait titles, and he'd gotten used to it, but if he put them all together, it didn't seem like he was a pet to be raised at all. It was more like he was in a dating sim. Mm-hmm. Stop making excuses. It was the system's plan all along. Liu's anger now was no less than when he was taken advantage of before. What pet wanted to have a deeper understanding, intimate contact, and indulge with his master? Tyrant's priceless pet fish is a series of initial missions that only require the user to achieve the necessary results, said the system. The user can choose how to complete the quest. All the missions were voluntarily completed by the user. The system seemed to be beating around the bush. Thinking about it, Liu realized that the system meant that the Tyrant Master doing this and that to him was because he was asking for it. Not that you were asking for it, but the Tyrant's Not that you were asking for it, but the Tyrant's actions toward the user now were caused by the user's choice in the previous missions, the system corrected. Great! Why didn't the system warn him that completing the quest would have an effect on Prince Jing? The system responded.
Because the missions of the Moe Pet system must be completed with the user's own sincerity. If you were told beforehand, then your choice would no longer be your own. You make it sound so nice, but it was just a trap from the beginning, Liu complained. This made him even angrier than when Prince Jing trapped him under the blanket. His face dark, Liu asked, "Is there any way to make Prince Jing stop taking advantage of me?" Prince Jing is the male protagonist. The system is unable to control his actions, but the user has the option to reset once. What the fuck? Once reset, all missions need to be completed again. Liu was surprised. I can reset? No, don't give him this option. System, this is at one point where we disagree. I thought we were buddy. I thought we were like this. I'm crossing my fingers. I thought we were like this. What are you doing? Don't give him this option. Naturally, Liu wondered what kind of results resetting would have. It wouldn't clear the tyrant's memories, satisfaction, and everything else to zero, would it? If that was the case, then there wouldn't be any more troubles for him. But would that be fair to Prince Jing? Due to Liu's transmigration, Prince Jing was no longer a piece of text, but a living person just like him. It seemed quite immoral to destroy other people's memories whenever he wanted, just because he was unhappy. User, you've misunderstood, the system hurriedly explained. The Moe Pet system can only clear the user's memory of being a pet fish to achieve the effect of a fresh start, but it cannot change Prince Jing. So it's clearing my own memory? No, we're gonna get an amnesia plot point. Oh my god. Oh my god, this is a K-drama. I know it's Chinese. I know this, but this is so K-drama. I cannot deal with it. Oh my god. That's gonna be a whole book, isn't it? The whole amnesia plot. Oh no. I love tropes. I love trauma. No. It sounded quite impressive, but wouldn't that just make him a pushover? If his memory was erased, wouldn't he still fall into the same traps? Besides, he didn't think he'd done anything wrong on his previous missions. Was he supposed to let the Duke of Chang'an and Ye Qinghuan be killed, or leave the chubby boy to drown? He was the same person even if he reset, so he'd make the same decisions. Sorry, I'm taking my jacket off. Jacket, it's not a jacket. It's like a shirt, it's a button up, but I put it over because anyway. Oy. Plus, if he reset, but Prince Jing didn't, wouldn't it be even worse? It would be better if I didn't. If there's no need to reset, then please accept the reward, user. The system notified him that the Indulge mission had been completed. Now that Liu knew some of the truth, his heart was in turmoil, and he had no energy to accept it. But then he remembered that he specifically asked for a fish plush as a reward for this mission, which was actually useful to him. Liu was annoyed and said, "Give me the fish plush and store the rest for now. Does the next mission have a timer?" "It does not." Liu bitterly thought, "Then I'm not completing any missions now. I will wait until I feel like it." With that, he took the fish plush and exited the system, returning to his crystal fish tank. He didn't know how he was supposed to face his fish life in the future. He had always thought he was smart, but now, having been scammed by the system and bullied by Prince Jing, he felt defeated. You always thought you were smart? Of course, that's a dumb person would. Of course. The fish plush lay by his side, but he... Wow. The fish plush lay by his side. Because he originally wanted to use it as a cover when he transformed, he'd asked the system for another fish plush. As expected, this fish plush was updated to his most recent look, a silver fish with golden scales scattered across its body. But he didn't want to change into a human and interact with Prince Jing anymore. We're just gonna let them, do that for a bit. I love having dogs. Alright. But he didn't want to change into a human and interact with Prince Jing anymore. Make him into fish bones and fish ash if you must. Liu angrily fell asleep. When he was fast asleep, someone suddenly spoke loudly in his ear. Was it Wang Ji? Liu wanted to hide as soon as he was fully awake, but he could hear the noise more clearly now. It wasn't Wang Ji. Liu soon realized that it was two voices that he never heard before. One voice mysteriously said to the other, "Does His Highness have to make such a grand gesture?" The other voice said, "Yes, His Highness is very fond of Li Gongzi, but I heard he went missing. His Highness feels that he will come back and take a look, so this is the only method he can use to pass a message to him." Li Gongzi, a secret eavesdropping fish, was puzzled. What was the huge bastard up to now? The first voice continued. "Write it on the wall. If Li Gongzi is still in the manor, he'll definitely see it." The two voices slowly faded. Liu angrily thought, what act were they performing right in front of me? Prince Jing most likely ordered these people to perform this little play to spread the news around the manor. But it did pique his curiosity. Could a person who couldn't speak really leave a message? What message was it? And why was it on the wall? Liu took advantage of the situation and hopped over to the windowsill to get a glimpse outside. Oh my god. Oh my god. You're not ready for this. I don't know if you're ready for this. I don't know if you're ready for this. Get ready! Everywhere he looked, he saw the white walls of Prince Jing's manor covered with extra large, flamboyant characters. "There are no other lovers. I adore you." Communication! Yay, they're finally doing it! Oh my god! They're finally communicating! Oh man. It's so simple, but it says everything that it needs to. I am insane. I am insane about this. I'm so not normal about this for once. For once. I think that's a very good place to stop today. I love them so much. I love them too. They're, oh my god. Finally! Finally! Yep, that's the end. The next chapter is called Stealing Prince Jing. Love that for you, Liu. Anyway, that was ending on page 160. These have been ending on really nice even numbers. 150, 160. They've all been almost about 10 pages. That's cool. Okay. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna leave y'all to soak that in. You know, like a fish. Actually, fish don't soak. Like a sponge. Like a... Never mind.
Um, you take that in. I'm not. I'm blocking that out. I'm never gonna get over that. That's okay. Wow. 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 Wow, wow, wow. Wow, 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 wow. I love them so much. Usually after every chapter I'm like, "Oh my god, I hate them. I hate them. I hate them." And now I love them. I love them. I'm going crazy. I'm not very good at expressing myself if you haven't noticed, like with proper words and sentences. I just have a lot of feelings. That's all. That's all I can say. I just have a lot of feelings. I just have a lot of feelings. Oh my god. Oh my god, they're so gay. I can't wait. I can't wait for the next chapters. I mean, obviously I have to, but ooh. Yeah. So that's where we're gonna end today. That's where we're ending today. I am not sure what we're doing on Wednesday because I might not be doing an art stream because I've realized that they are very difficult to do. They're very difficult to do. But I mean, I don't actually know because I just got a gotcha prompt. Scum villain gotcha prompt for Lu Mingyan and Xia Hualing. So I might possibly do that on stream, but I might not because again, streaming art is really difficult. Unless I'm doing something really simple. Oh, actually, I am so busy on Wednesday. What the fuck? So yeah, no stream on Wednesday. My bad. I totally forgot I have Wednesday, like, blocked out. Yeah, I have plans on Wednesday, so no stream on Wednesday. Sorry, but we will come back to reading back on Friday as usual. I think. I don't think I'm doing anything different. I should be waking up at the same time, so we should be fine. Let me check my calendar real quick. Okay, yeah. Friday. There's nothing. There's just a lot going on this week, so I just have to check my calendar. Back on Friday, we'll be doing this. I'll see you then. If not then on Monday. If not then on next Wednesday. So yeah, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. Thanks for going crazy with me. I will see you all later.